Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 14th of March. Starting with the FTSE 100, which has made some progress in terms of the follow-through from breaking that symmetrical triangle from last month. The view at the moment is above 7,700. We're looking for 7,850 by the end of this month. We've got the 50 and 200-day lines both rising at the moment, which helps, and that along with the triple bounce of the RSI on neutral 50 also giving this chart a better look, even though obviously we haven't really moved out of that 7,300 to 7,800 range that's dominated the last year. Moving along to the DAX, and here sort of right up there at the highs, record highs for this market, and above that resistance line target we had there before, 17,900. We're looking for at the top of that October rising trend channel at 18,400. Perhaps as soon as the end of next month. Obviously, if we're really lucky, it would be by the end of this month. In terms of supports, 17,600, the March support area, the old February resistance around 17,400, and that is probably the lowest we're expecting any retracement to come down to. The Dow is next, and here a similar pattern to the DAX. The only disappointment, I suppose, is that we weren't able to clear that February resistance line, or not in a comprehensive way, but if you look closely, you can see that even though it's a red candle, we're actually on the right side of that. The initial target here up to 40,200, which is the top of that October rising trend channel. If you're an optimist and looking for greater glories, then it would be up to 41,000, which is that September resistance line projection. But at the moment, looking for 40,000 while we're above the 38,000 area. The 50-day moving average currently around 38,200, so that was or would be likely support. The next market here is Bitcoin, and here you can see we're still stretching towards the stars in record territory. We had the test of the old record high area at 68,000 as new supports have already done that, and we're looking for 80,000 or 81,000 in fact, perhaps as soon as the end of this month. But that's valid while we're above the upper 60,000s zone. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Abingdon, which after a long time in the wilderness, basically it's been a sort of a decline since June, that falling trend channel since June last year. Looks as though we could get up to 10.75 pence, especially if we can close above the 50-day line at 8.7 pence today. Next situation is one which I haven't looked at for quite a while, and you'll see why from the chart. Eneraqua, because obviously it's been in a rather dire state, but at least today we've gapped up through the 50-day moving average at 42 pence. Above that, looking for obviously the recent neckline resistance, 44 pence, and then probably the half the journey between the December peak and December floor, so looking for the low to mid 50s as a target maybe by the end of next month, while we remain above the 50-day line after this March bear trap that we've been treated to. Interesting times at ECR Minerals, where we had a great close yesterday, and obviously in some ways it might have been too good to be true. We hit our target there, which was around 0.41, which was a relief. We were looking for an end of day close above that resistance line there from August, 0.41, to give us up to 0.6, but obviously with the latest fundraise, that's going to be delayed. Ideally now we stay above the 200-day moving average, that's at 0.29, and above that we can zigzag back to 0.41 over the next 4 to 6 weeks, and maybe by the end of next month, so that fundraise delaying the upside maybe by a month or so. Moving on to the Aquis market, and here we've got Kasei. We already noticed the rising trend channel base from last April. Top of that channel is up to 13.75, and we're looking for that hopefully now as soon as the end of this month rather than the end of next month, while we remain on the right side of 10 pence. Next up is another situation which is looking good on a rather quiet day. Libertine, here you can see the shares bouncing off the 200-day line at 4 pence. Above that, we're looking for a retest of 7.5 pence, which was last month's resistance. Next up is Pressure, which we haven't looked at for ages. Pressure Technologies. Here, rising trend channel base, we've gapped up again, and we're looking for 42 pence by the end of this month, while we remain above the price channel floor around the 33 pence level. Yesterday's announcement from Premier African seemed to have disappointed some in the market, quite a lot maybe. And here you can see, though, that the pullback in the shares has actually still been higher than that rising 50-day line. So that does suggest that we're still in the game for a move towards 0.4 pence plus. But obviously, again, a bit like ECR, it's sort of delayed after the fundamentals have kicked in. But above that 50-day line, still looking for 0.4 on Premier. Rather more long-term situation from Smartspace, which is gapped up today. Here you can see that the shares are in this wide broadening triangle from back at the end of 2021. The top of that triangle at £1.20, which we could see as soon as the end of next month, while we remain above the 50-day line at 74 pence. Finishing off with Canadian stocks, there aren't enough to look at over here. Pulsar Helium, we had the previous call up to the sort of the mid-50s in cents, that is. That rising trend channel in place since November, so that worked. Above the $1 area, we were looking for $1.40 by the end of this month, and obviously that came ahead of time. We're now looking for as high as $2 by the end of next month, maybe even $2.20, while we remain above recent support around the $1.20 area. So let's see if Pulsar can step up to the plate. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.